Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ARMIET College of Engineering and Management YouTube channel. Today we have interesting topic, blockchain technology. How blockchain will soon make it impossible to sell a stolen Rolex. And so what is blockchain and how it is going to change your world? So ARMIET College, in association with TPCRA, presents an introductory online webinar on blockchain. I request Professor Mayank Mangal sir to introduce our guest for the day.
Yeah. So good evening, one and all. It's Professor Mayank Mangal. I'm heading Information of Technology Department in ARMIET College. So today we are having this blockchain technology introductory session. It's like as a FDP and webinar also. So I would like to welcome Mr. Rajiv Vodoloi and Mr. Raj Kapoor. So Mr. Rajiv Vodoloi is the Director General of Trade Promotion Council of Robotics and Automation, that is TPCRA. And he is a BTech from Mechanical and Project Management from IIT Delhi, with 2 decades of industry and corporate exposure with global organization and Indian MNC like Texas Instruments, Standard PLC, American International Groups, SDFC, Birla Group, etc. So a member of Energy and Industrial Technology Development Organization Tokyo since 2006. Also an independent consultant of TI USA since 2009. A council member of CIO Executive Council ANZ Australia and New Zealand since last year. So he is having a very great experience in this field. Emerging technology and social initiatives are his 2 big weaknesses. He is an active volunteer of CRY International charity organization since last 10 years. So also nominated for Indian Achievers Award 2020 for Shiksha Bharati Award in the field of innovation, consultancy and CSR for his outstanding work at Trade Promotion Council of Robotics and Automation, that is TPCRA, a not-for-profit apex body representing robotics and automation and information technology. So I would like to welcome Mr. Rajiv Vodoloi to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Raj Kapoor. So over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Mandal, and thank you so much for having organized this wonderful event today to home also and to Ritesh also, apart from the college. And thank you for such a wonderful introduction. Yeah, thank you. And more than that, I'd also like to share everyone that we as an organization very actively deals in all the emerging technologies that is going to rule in the 4th industrial revolution, as we have already set foot into the 4th industrial revolution. So all these technologies plays a very critical role for any industry, for any government, or for any day-to-day, any person's life. Okay. So this technology, whether we like it or not, is going to impact everyone. in a very big way. And out of all these technologies, blockchain having leading the forefront. Okay, so blockchain technology, we have this webinar today on this technology. So it's really wonderful to have Raj Kapoor, Mr. Raj Kapoor here, who is also an advisory board member at several blockchain companies. And he's also the chairman of Organization of Blockchain Technology Users, OBTU. And he's the Asia Lead Technology and Innovation at Blockspace Technology Limited, and advisor of TechBuild Innovation Partners. He has helped organize Africa's biggest blockchain and cryptocurrency events across major cities in Nigeria. Now he's replicating the same in India. He has also organized Drupal Global Training Day events, Drupal camps and meetups, and have spoken at DrupalCon Amsterdam 2014, Los Angeles 2015, Johannesburg, South Africa 2016. He has also arranged blockchain camps at Nigeria 2017 to 19. He regularly speaks at tech events in India, Nigeria, and across Africa. Besides blockchain, Raj is also skilled in robotics, drone technology, Raspberry Pi, and 3D printing. He's also the advisory board member of a couple of global companies, blockchain companies like Blockshare, BrickChain Labs, and Pacific Networks. So without much delay today, I would like to invite Raj and like to welcome him to enlighten all of us on this technology and what a powerful impact this technology is creating across the industries. So Raj, welcome once again.
Yeah, thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, Mayank. Thank you, team ARMIET. Thank you for having me here for this evening. It's a wonderful evening in Bombay. I'm speaking from Bombay, so I'm enjoying the cool weather out here. I hope you're enjoying the weather wherever you guys are. So shall we start this wonderful session? It's wonderful because it's a wonderful technology, not because I'm giving it. The technology is wonderful. I want to really introduce you to this wonderful technology. So if you're all ready, we're good to go. I'm ready to start. And you know how I'm going to start? I'm going to start it in, it's going to be in different pieces. First, I'm going to show you what the world is talking about blockchain. Second, I'll show you a couple of videos, and then I'll take you a deep dive into what is blockchain, and most important for all those who are looking at jobs and careers, you know, taking this as a pathway to one of the most successful jobs and careers. I'll show you where the jobs are. I'll show you what you get, and I'll show you how to get there. Okay, so let me start right away by sharing my screen. So I'll need screen share permission. I have it. Yes, I have it. Great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'll show you first what the world is saying about blockchain through the internet. Okay, there we go. And I am going to start now. Just a minute. We are. Just give me a moment. I'm just opening out my screens. Okay, my screen is not visible. Oh, I can see share screen. Okay, now, yes, we are good to go. My screen is visible, guys?
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you, Ritesh. All right, what does the first headline tell us? These are the most in-demand job skills in 2020. Just now when Rajiv was introducing and he said blockchain is leading from the front, he's not just saying it because he feels like saying it or he's just heard it from me. This is what the world is talking about. LinkedIn, which is the most popular networking, professional networking, social media platform, says these are the most. Let's have a look what LinkedIn says. Come on, let's have a look. Here we go. These are the top in-demand hard skills globally. So what is number one? It's blockchain. There are a lot of other fantastic technologies which follow, but let's look at the number one right now. We all remember the first person who lands on the moon. Number one. We rarely remember the second person. Come back again. Let's see who's number one here. It's blockchain. Now this was on CNBC, and now let's have a look at what Times of India says. Blockchain jobs rising very fast. Excellent news. And then comes this beautiful news. The demand for blockchain engineers is through the roof. Guys, it's really going up and up and up. Can we there's a lot of noise coming, so can we mute the mics, please? Thank you. All right. The demand for blockchain engineers is going right through the roof. Right through the roof? Absolutely, because there is a huge demand and very little supply. And what happens when there's a high demand and low supply? Sky high salaries, says Economic Times. Sky high salaries for blockchain professionals. Wow. All those listening in, especially the students, this is probably the best headline for all of you. The headline is important because it is now the #1 skill in demand. Let's have a look. This is a forum from the India Employer Forums. This is a forum populated by all employers and the top 10 IT skills in India. Let's have a look. What's the #1 skill? Again, it's a blockchain developer. That's #1 again. On different forums, on different headlines, you'll find the same answer, blockchain. And then finally, they ask you, most people tell you, change to the most in-demand job of 2020. And which is the most in-demand job now? It's blockchain, guys. So with that, I'll share something else with you now, and then we'll go into my presentation, okay? I'll show you a little video before I start the presentation and explain to you what is blockchain. That's a brief. Don't worry if you don't understand it much, but it's a nice interactive video. You'll enjoy that. Is my screen visible now? Ritesh, is the video visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Perfect. Here we go.
The blockchain is an undeniably ingenious invention, the brainchild of a person or group of people known by the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. But since then, it has evolved into something greater. The main question everyone's asking is, what is blockchain? Originally devised for the digital currency Bitcoin, the tech community has now found many other uses for the technology. To date, the total value of Bitcoin is close to 150 billion US dollars. Much like the internet, you don't need to know how the blockchain works to use it. However, having a basic knowledge of this new technology tells you why it's considered revolutionary. Picture a spreadsheet that is duplicated thousands of times across a network of computers. Then imagine that this network is designed to regularly update this spreadsheet, and you have a basic understanding of the blockchain. Information held on a blockchain exists as a shared and continually reconciled database. The blockchain database isn't stored in any one single location, meaning the records it keeps are truly public and easily verifiable. Hosted by millions of computers simultaneously, its data is accessible to anyone on the internet. The blockchain network lives in a state of consensus, one that automatically checks in with itself every 10 minutes. A network of nodes makes up the blockchain. Every node has a full copy of the ledger and joins the network voluntarily. Each node has an incentive for processing and verifying transactions, the chance of earning bitcoins, or any other cryptocurrency used by the network. Each group of transactions is referred to as a block. The transactions in a block cannot be corrupted, as altering any information on the blockchain would require your computer to overpower the entire network. In theory, this could be possible. In practice, it's unlikely to happen. This new way to send and verify transactions could make traditional commerce unnecessary. Stock market trades could be instantaneous on the blockchain, or it could keep a fully public record of land registry, or it could host an election. The possibilities are endless. If you aren't convinced about the possibilities of blockchains, we'd like to leave you with this quote from a former US Treasury Secretary. Bitcoin has the same character a fax machine had. A single fax machine is a doorstop. The world where everyone has a fax machine is an immensely valuable thing.
Yes, thank you guys for listening in here. And just get out of the little overview of what blockchain is. I'll get out of my video now and I will show you something else. All right. I'm sure my screen is not being shared now. So before I share my next screen, how many of you think blockchain and Bitcoin is the same? You can put it in the chat box or you can put it in your box. Okay, you're listening on YouTube Live. No problem. We'll see that later on. Let's come straight to the presentation. Now, is my presentation visible, guys?
Yes, Raj, it is visible.
Perfect. So let's start. Okay, so boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that's a big hello from George and me. You can make out who I am, and that's my friend George on the right. George and I call ourselves the Blockchain Buddies. We've also got a group called the Blockchain Blokes, and we also have a lot of things in common. Most of all, it's blockchain, yes. We speak a lot in different countries, to corporates, to governments, to institutions such as yours, to schools. We were even taking blockchain to schools now. We've taken, we speak with governments, as I told you. We're doing a couple of government projects together. We also do a lot of training to the top companies in the world, including the IBMs, the AWS, Amazon, Cognizance, you name them, Wipros. We do a lot of training, Tech Mahindra, we do a lot of training. So, and between the two of us, we have spoken in over 140 different countries. And I don't know, in this year, we must have, between the two of us, crossed more than 500 webinars so far. Fine, that's great. We both love to talk. So giving a webinar is something which we love. The idea is to give, whenever we give a webinar, is to give you a fair idea as to what's blockchain. Now, blockchain is a huge subject, but let's get a little preview. Let's date blockchain today. Let's understand it a little better. And if we like it, we can take the relationship further. So we start with this, a very significant document here. It's called Blockchain India Strategy. What is this? It's a Niti Aayog white paper, a blockchain strategy paper, and a plan for adopting blockchain in India. This came out in Jan-Feb 2020, which is as recent as that. Just before the COVID hit us, this was released. And why is it very significant? Because this is a blueprint of what's going to happen from a government perspective vis-a-vis blockchain. And blockchain is the only one which has got a strategy paper ready by the Niti Aayog, which is the government of India think tank. They advise the governments on different technologies, and they singled out, and first, they may take out more papers in the future, but right now, and first and foremost, they said, we gotta put blockchain into this country. There are right now over 90 projects going on at different levels in the government. And that's because this document tells them what are the sectors which are going to be impacted by blockchain, what is going to be the value for the country, what is going to be the socio-economic impact for a country like ours, the GDP impact, everything. It's beautifully packaged and put into this document. I suggest anyone, whether you are going to go ahead with blockchain or not, you download this document, because whatever jobs you do, whatever technologies or non-technical things you do, blockchain is going to be impacting a lot of decision making and corporate world going forward. Now, here is a statement which I would like you to see very carefully. Forbes came out with this article in which it said, very soon we won't trust anything unless it's backed by blockchain. Why is that? Why not in cybersecurity? Why not AI? Why not cloud computing? Why not multiple other different technologies? There is a reason. Blockchain protects data like nothing else. And we all know today, data is the new cash. It's the new gold. And, I'll give you an example here. You all have heard of companies like Oyo, Paytm, Byju's, Big Basket, a lot of these big companies, big e-commerce sites. What is common in all of them? What's common? I'll tell you what's common. They all make huge losses, every one of them. But, and that's very important, but what they have also in common is huge databases, huge amounts of data, financial transactions, personal transactions, consumer data, consumer purchase data, everything is there in this. That's valuable, and that's what they get funding on. It's not the profits they make or the losses they're making. None of them are making profits. They're all making losses for years and years and years. Yet the founders are getting richer and richer and richer. No problem, because they got data. Data is the new king. And that's, how do we protect this data? Blockchain comes in here. Not only does it protect data, that's just one of the functions it does. It does so many multiple functions that it secures data. It creates smart contracts where things can happen very fast, instantaneously, saves time, is transparent, and therefore trustworthy. It becomes a programmable trust. You can program trust on the blockchain. That's why everybody wants to have everything on the blockchain over the next 5 to 10 years. That's why Forbes in this article says we won't trust anything unless it's backed by blockchain. We have another document. The blockchain is as significant now as the internet was 25 years back. That says by Blight Masters. She is the CEO of Digital Asset Holding, and she said this because she knew how internet disrupted technology 25 years back. Boys and girls who are listening in, the students, you wouldn't have been there 25 years back. Most of you wouldn't be there. But look what happened. There was a revolutionary technology which came, and look what changes made. Today we are talking because of this technology. We chat, we check our mails, we research, we do Facebooks, Instagrams, whatever you may call it. Everything is online, everything is internet based. Now, fast forward to 2020. Can you go without a day without the internet? Extremely difficult. Yes, you can go, no problem. But yeah, it's a little difficult, not so comfortable. The same way blockchain now is creating such ripples, it's impacting every bit of every sector of business. And because of that, the data security it provides, the ease of business, the transparency, the trust, the immutability, that's giving it a most powerful technology title. And that's why today, and again, as I said, just like the internet is not owned by anybody, the same way blockchain is not owned by anybody, therefore making it very difficult to hack and break into, and therefore more reliable. That, my friends, is today 2020. For the next 15 to 20 years, is going to play a major role in all our lives. That's why it's as important. Well, we had this gentleman called William Mugaya, and he does a lot of investments into startups. And he says, the old question used to be, is it in the database? It's going to be replaced by, is it on the blockchain? I think that is a very strong statement. Yes, we have everything on the database right now. We have all sorts of names, men, and everything. In fact, do you know, friends, your personal data, your KYC details, is on the database. Yes, bank databases, telecom companies databases, retail shops databases, and God knows where else. And do you know something? Even today, as we speak, your database, and I'm sure you wouldn't like that, is with 5.5 lakh marketing companies in India even now. That is scary. Today it's with marketing people, tomorrow it could be anywhere. It could be on the dark web, it could be anywhere. Guys, your data is not secure. And because data is not secure, businesses are not secure always. Therefore, there's always hacking all the time. And recently we had the Prime Minister's personal website hacked. Before that, we had his Twitter account hacked. This is not going to happen unless if it's in the database. If it's on the blockchain, it's not going to happen. And that's why one of the things recently, the CEO of Twitter, he mentioned that the entire Twitter platform he's going to be taking onto the blockchain, which is a major statement. Here we have the Prime Minister Narendra Modi mentioning clearly at the US-India Business Council that the opportunities in technology include opportunities in frontier technologies like 5G and blockchain. 5G is from a telecom perspective, great to have a good spectrum because we need the internet, etc. And the second thing he called out was blockchain. Now that's very important. When the government talks about blockchain, you know what's going to happen. It's going to do a lot of work in that space. It's already made up his mind. It's already got a policy paper. It's got a paper from Niti Aayog, a strategy paper. It's going to be implemented, and we all are going to be part of this. So we have an agenda here, but I have a different agenda. I want to show you something. Now, you heard of all these people. I'm sure all of you have heard of Jack Ma, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, etc. Let's have a very quick view of what they have been saying about blockchain. I think that's really nice. You'll enjoy that. Just give me a moment and I'll share that with you. All right, friends, is my video visible now?
Yes, visible.
Perfect. Let's have a look what the world is saying.
I think blockchain is going to be a very critical technology for the future development of the world. It's not only about financial. Blockchain technology is not about Bitcoins. Bitcoin is just a small function of the blockchain technology. I'm a strong believer of the blockchain technology.
This is not about Bitcoin or digital currencies or crypto assets. It's the underlying blockchain technology. Now people can trust each other and they can transact with anything from money to music, to votes, to their identities peer-to-peer.
Bitcoin is either MySpace or it's Facebook, I don't know. But blockchain is social media. So at the macro, blockchain is going nowhere, right? Like blockchain's here to stay forever, and it's a very big deal.
Enter blockchain. Satoshi Nakamoto, 2008, anonymous person, came up with this way of people transacting, doing business with assets peer-to-peer. And trust is not achieved by a middleman. It's achieved by cryptography, by collaboration, and by some clever code. And what that means is that we now have a native digital medium for value.
Effectively a software.
Okay,
I mean,
so
it's a
what-
distributed database that's managed independently, and that inherent combination makes it a utility, makes it software effectively that has value in the chain.
The business world of the future, say 10 years from now, is going to run on smart contracts. It's going to run on strong encryption and on, peer-to-peer based consensus mechanisms. So the core technologies underlying blockchain are going to pervade everything, just like the internet has, just like object-oriented software has right now.
So the choice, when I talk to people, I said, what do you think will be here in 2040, approximately 22 years from now? Will gold still be here? Well, it's been here since eternity.
Well,
will the dollar be here?
Right.
I don't think so. And will blockchain be here? I think so.
We think of Bitcoin as a digital gold, so gold 2.0, but it's money, the first step of money that was ever built purposely for the internet. So it's sort of like what your email did to snail mail. Cryptocurrency or Bitcoin does for money.
Well, Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place. And of course, for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient. The customers we're talking about aren't trying to be anonymous. They're willing to be known. So the Bitcoin technology is key, and you could add to it, or you could build a similar technology where there's enough attribution that people feel comfortable. This has nothing to do with terrorism or any type of money laundering.
Still very early. Institutions, everybody knows about it, everyone's heard about it, and there's some very sophisticated people in even these banks who know about cryptocurrency, but they're still not really in the game yet. It's still very much a retail-driven market, very much a lot of the actions out in Asia. So we still think it's the bottom of the first inning. If you read this book, you understand how we got here and how far it's come, but it's also just sort of the beginning in a lot of ways.
Well, I think it is working, and there will be other currencies like it that may be even better. But in the meantime, there's a big industry around Bitcoin, and people have made fortunes out of Bitcoin. Some people have lost money out of Bitcoin.
It's volatile. It's volatile.
Yeah, but it is quite volatile. But when in volatility, people can make money out of volatility.
So where I see crypto as effectively as a replacement for cash, but not as a replacement for as a primary. I do not see crypto being the primary database.
I would say there's a lot of need for developers even at the core protocol layer. So things like improving protocol scalability, working on the client implementations of things like proof of stake. Layer 2 systems, things like state channels and Plasma could probably use a lot more smart people. On the application stuff, I guess you could always use more, but there's probably quite a lot more of that already.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff which people said. So we come back now. So wasn't it interesting what all people are saying? And these are top end people. These have made money by the tons, not only by doing just what they're doing, but by understanding technology and the trends. And each of them has called out blockchain as a future technology. Some of them even said 2040 is going to be there. Absolutely, it's going to be there for the next 20, 25 years. And therefore, for boys and girls who are listening in, it's not just jobs you'll be looking at. It'll be full-blown careers in blockchain. You're going to be there for a long, long time. Blockchain is not leaving us anywhere, and I don't think we should be leaving it either. Well, coming back now, let's have a very quick look at what is blockchain, where did it start from, where are the jobs? That's very, very important. Let's dive right inside. What's blockchain? It's a time-stamped series of immutable records of data managed by a cluster of computers, not owned by a single entity. What are the keywords here? Time-stamped. Once you put in the data, you get time-stamped. Immutable records. It cannot be altered, changed, or destroyed. That's immutable. Not owned by any single entity. Just like the internet, no single person owns it, thereby making it extremely secure and safe. And now each of these blocks, like every block is a bit of data, and that's linked together by a code. It's called a crypto principle. That's called also a chain. So blocks are data, and the code which links one data block to the other is called a chain. That's blockchain. So instead of all your data lying in a single centralized database, it's now a distributed database. It's just like putting all your eggs in one basket or putting different eggs in different baskets. If you put all your eggs in one basket, you can get, some of them can be this, you can smash them all together. Somebody can pick up the whole basket and run away. A couple of eggs can break if they're not handled properly, so on and so forth. Your data can be destroyed or compromised. Now, you put all the eggs in different baskets, extremely difficult to break them all together or get hold of them all together. That's the difference. That's a blockchain for you. So how does it work? Let's have a very quick look at how it works. As each transaction occurs, when a transaction means it's a data created, it's put into a block. They are blocked together, different transactions, and each block is connected to one before the other one. So every block connects with the previous and the next, in an irreversible chain. You cannot make the chain different. You cannot change the blocks, thereby making it extremely secure, thereby making it non-manipulative. People can't manipulate the data anymore. Some people will like blockchain, some people will hate blockchain, but blockchain is here to stay. So that's a little bit of how it works. That's an infographic of how it works. What's really important, what it is, it's a decentralized, distributed digital ledger. Decentralized, no eggs in one basket. Distributed, all your eggs are in different baskets. Digital ledger, we live in a digital world, online, everything. So that's what it is. It's data which is decentralized. It's data across several nodes or computing devices, just like the internet. And each transaction is stored in blocks, which I just told you. And each block, what does the block contain? Transaction data, a timestamp, and the crypto hash of its preceding block. So every block needs to have the same code as the previous, then only it connects, therefore making it extremely secure, encrypted, and trustworthy and transparent. So why is it important? Let's have a look. There have been lots of databases. There have been banks running before us. There's cybersecurity. So why is blockchain important? Well, it records and validates every transaction made. You know, guys, you just cannot, if you want to make a change in your database also, you cannot make a change in the block. You have to completely destroy or revoke the block and create a new block. And everything is linked to the previous and the next, and it's timestamped, so you can trace it. What was in the previous block? What did you change, etc., etc. So that's what makes it extremely popular. It reduces transaction times. You're in control of your transactions. If you are in control of the blockchain, you can decide whom you want to share data with. I don't want to share data with the whole world. My data lying in the centralized bank is with everybody. They call you for loans, for credit cards, insurance, God knows what all. I get 20 calls a day, pesky calls selling me stuff. How did they get my database? I don't know, but they got the database from somewhere. So the system is decentralized, therefore safer and less likely to be hacked. Now, very simply, all of you have done some banking transactions. Yes, yes, we all have. We've either received money from somewhere or taken money or sent money somewhere, subscribed, bought tickets, bought flight tickets, train tickets, movie tickets, which is now, of course, slowed down. But anyways, we've done all that. Now, how do we do that? Yes, great. I'm sitting here on the left. I'm sitting in the US, for example, and my friend is sitting in India here. She says, I need $1,000. I said, no problem. I'll send you the $1,000. I open my app or my net banking, and after a few keystrokes and the right passwords and the right protocols, my money is transferred to India. No problem. If it's a local money, it's instantaneous almost. IMPS, RTGS is almost instantaneous. And if it's overseas, it may take a couple of hours or a day or so, depending from where you sent it. But it happens, and it happens pretty conveniently. However, there's a catch. The catch is this little round thing here, this little bank here. We always have to go through a bank. Yes, yes. Whether you use a credit card, what do you use? Visa, MasterCard, credit or debit card, or American Express, you're using a third party. I've got a Chase Manhattan account. My friend's got an ICICI bank account. Who's in between? There's a third party clearing bank. And yes, so there is somebody involved. So whether there's a bank or a credit card or a Paytm or a Google Pay or anything, or Phone Pay, Razorpay, whatever, everything is linked to your bank accounts. You cannot make any transfers from anywhere if you don't have a bank account. Imagine sending money to villages now where they don't even have bank accounts, or they're so backwards, or anywhere else. Now with blockchain, you don't even need a bank account. You can transfer money from one place to the other. That's what made it popular. Here we go. So what's the big idea? The big idea was to eliminate the bank, to reach out to as many people as possible. Everyone doesn't have a bank account. Moreover, when I send now money, I can send directly from here to here without paying the middleman any commissions. I'm not paying commissions. I'm not paying a fee, a service charge. What's happened? Beautiful. I send from here A to B immediately within minutes, and now my database is no longer secure in one centralized database. It is all across the world in different blocks. It's all across. Safe, secure, trustworthy, immutable. Here, quite safe, but not 100% safe. That, by the way, is all thanks to the Bitcoin network blockchain. That's how it started. And as I said, it becomes disintermediated. Now there is no Visa, no MasterCard, no ICICI, no HDFC, no Reserve Bank, nobody in the middle right now. Is these distributed? Yeah, it's got across the world now. You try and hack it now, no problem. Very difficult or almost impossible. It's trustful because now we know it's so difficult to hack or have access to, and you are in control of that data. You have the rights to share it with anybody you feel like or not, and therefore it becomes trustful. In technical language, we call this the only technology that creates a programmable trust. So what happened was, in the beginning, when I sent the money from here, I was sending money. What is happening here was this was a single ledger. I was sending here to there, no problem. But here is a single centralized database, and that is prone to errors, tampering, deletion, or lost. How do you think the Nirav Modis, the Choksis, and the Vijay Mallya's have fled the country with thousands of crores of rupees taken from banks? How? Because in collusion with either bank officials or technology or hackers or whatever you want to call it, we won't start guessing on that. But whatever it is, they did it. Files were lost. Documents were deleted from the digital space, from the centralized database. State Bank of India, you name the banks. A lot of things are missing, deleted, tampered, altered. Dates were changed. Repayment dates were changed. That happened because it was a centralized database where we had access to the data. Somebody could get into a centralized because he had to only get into one database. Now, with blockchain, the single ledger has become shared, distributed, permanent. You can't delete it now, and immutable. You can't make even alterations. I've just shown a few here. It's hundreds and thousands of blocks is becoming a blockchain. But that's the very tenet, the very background and backbone of blockchain, creating that trust. Where did it start from? Let's have a look. In 2006 to 8, there was a huge incident which shook the world. What was that incident? It was the crashing of the Dow Jones Industrial Index. That's the Dow Jones is the American stock market, you could say. It's the barometer to the financial health of the largest democracy in the world, the United States. What happened? In the beginning, around September, right up to October, within a span of a year, the markets crashed by almost 100%. They crashed miserably. And why did they crash? Because a lot of financial discrepancies were found in the banking system. People started losing faith in banks. They felt that the banks, where they put their money, their trust, are no longer trustworthy. And what happens after that? There was a lot of bankruptcies. There were Chapter 11s, Lehman Brothers, Anderson Consulting, large organizations shut shop, small businesses closed, and the reverberations of this were felt right across the globe, not just in the United States. It included India. So while this was happening, the markets were crashing, and they were going to do a free fall. Someone at the back was actually studying this and trying to create a solution. And we must thank that gentleman, whoever it was who did that. So let's find out who that was. 2008, during the time when the markets had crashed maximum, someone released a white paper on Bitcoin. Who released it? There was an anonymous gentleman by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. Why do I say anonymous? Because we don't know for sure if he's real. It could be an alias. It could be a pseudonym. And why? Because he created a currency, a parallel currency. He created a parallel financial system, which didn't require banks. Imagine that. Disruption. And what's disruption? You don't require banks for trading, for money transactions? Wow. Banks were shaken up. They should be. They were enjoying our monies and they were playing around with it for a long, long time. And then came Satoshi Nakamoto, who said, listen, you don't even need that. So let's see, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Why did he come across? Actually, there's a lot of theories floating around. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Here, let's hear the most popular one. Satoshi Nakamoto is, according to a lot of aficionados and blockchain experts, a consortium of companies, Samsung, Toshiba, Nakamichi, and Motorola. They came together and created this parallel system. And that's how they feel the name has come. Sa as in Samsung, Toshi as in Toshiba, Naka as in Nakamichi Corporation, and Moto as in Motorola. Satoshi Nakamoto. That's how the name came. Now, what is important is not how the name only came, there were people behind this. Most people feel that these are the companies behind the entire new financial system and a new currency. This is just for a little aside for you. The most important thing was, as I told you, you can now transfer money without having a middleman. You don't need a bank. I can send money to you without a bank. Wow, that's fantastic. No commissions. When you're transferring small amounts of money, you don't know how much commissions they are. But when there's large amounts of money in dollars, especially, there are huge commissions the bank charges. That disappeared completely. That became the basis of blockchain. And Bitcoin was built on the blockchain platform. So the Bitcoin became the car and the blockchain becomes the road which it drives on. On the road, there are many other vehicles. That's why blockchain also has many other vehicles and many other users. This was the primary one. As it evolved, we had the Bitcoin in 2009. It's just 11 years young. You couldn't have a younger technology. In 2015 came Ethereum. What Ethereum did, it created inroads in different sectors, taking blockchain out of the financial sector only and into multiple other sectors: logistics, manufacturing, supply chain, counterfeiting, media, retail, it just kept spreading. That was in 2015. Vitalik Buterin, who was a Russian who migrated to Canada, became the founder of Ethereum. And till today, Ethereum becomes one of the most popular platforms and currencies after Bitcoin. Then came the Hyperledger, which was founded by the Linux Foundation in 2005. That also became very, very popular. More proof of concepts, more ways of working into different sectors came in. Then came Corda, which is still being used in 2016 by the R3 consortium, for which we are, by the way, a part of. Then came Algorand, and there are so many. There came Nova, Ripple, Solidity, many more. That's the little bit of an evolution. Don't read anything but the headlines, except wave one was the awareness. People started getting aware of the technology because it's new. How does it work? Why are banks not required? Wow, is it safe? Is it secure? Am I going to lose my money? Am I going to gain anything out of it? And why? Is it only applicable to banks? That's what was being discussed for 5 years. But as people realized, and Ethereum and Hyperledger came, the second wave came for blockchain. What was the second wave? Experimentation. People used the technology. The proof of concept was put together. Rules and regulations were put together. And thereby the third wave came, which is the transformation, which is the projects phase now. Now there are multiple projects going on the blockchain because it got tested. So in a short period of just 11 years, blockchain has moved from awareness to transformation. That's the fastest a technology can grow, and it is the only growing now. You're in the middle of the transformation phase. So let's have a look at some of the sectors using blockchain. I told you banking, that's number one. Government, retail, manufacturing, supply chain, agriculture, big time agriculture, yeah, voting, real estate, utilities, media, healthcare, and logistics. These are just some of the sectors. These are not all, some of the sectors. And how is blockchain used in this? I'll show you how. Let me just show you a little pie chart and who's using. So as I said, banking and finance maximum. And there are many other slices coming in, many others, manufacturing, utilities. In fact, today, somebody has patented the first blockchain meter to do your meter readings on the blockchain. So now, no inflated bills, accuracy, and with smart contracts that blockchain builds, payments can be immediate, secure, transparent, and instantaneously. No questions asked, no one to check your meters, no one to give you different numbers, etc. Imagine if you are paying utility bills, every one of us pays bills, electricity bills. Imagine billions of us are using every month, millions of users. Imagine each one of us paying 1 unit extra. That's what a lot of utility companies do. They charge us for 1 or 2 units extra every month. Do you know it? No, you don't know it. Imagine now, multiply that by a couple of million users every month on month on month. Look at the millions of dollars and rupees we are paying out without knowing. Can this be stopped? Yes, it can be stopped. Blockchain is doing that. Now, these are some of the government projects going on. Over 90 projects are going on in the government. Land records are being put on the blockchain, financial records, registration, your car papers, property taxes. Soon you'll be even paying income taxes. Your income tax will also be in that. All your agriculture supply chains, all are slowly and steadily being put on the blockchain. If I'll go into another video for you, I want to show you where all are they being applied. So let me share that. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Chrome. Just let me put this off and put this on. Yes. My screen visible, guys?
Yes, Raj, it is.
All right. This is a video which shows some of the applications of blockchain beyond finance also and beyond. Let's see how blockchain is used in different industry.
Chain. You got on the internet, you read a few articles or watched a few videos to figure out how it works, and now that you understand that, you're still confused. How can this technology be used in the real world? Well, let's take a look at a few examples, but before we do that, let's quickly recap what a blockchain is. In simple terms, it's a distributed database that everyone can get a copy of. Every person with a copy can add new records to this database, but they cannot change any record that's already in there. This property makes blockchains great to record data in a transparent way because everyone gets to see what's in it. So how can it be used? Well, in this video, I'll give you 9 examples. Let's start with the most obvious and most popular application of blockchains, and that is cryptocurrencies. When Bitcoin launched in 2008, it allowed people to directly transact with one another without having to trust third parties like banks. Since then, over 1,600 different cryptocurrencies have been created. But let's look beyond cryptocurrencies. Let's look at how blockchain technology can be used in cars, for example. Ever heard of odometer fraud? By tampering with the odometer, someone can make a car appear to be newer and less worn out, resulting in customers paying more than what the car is actually worth. The government tries to counter this by collecting the mileage of cars when they get a safety inspection, but that's not enough. So instead, we could replace regular odometers with smart ones that are connected to the internet and frequently write the car's mileage to a blockchain. This would create a secure and digital certificate for each car. And because we use a blockchain, no one can tamper with the data and everyone can look up a vehicle's history. In fact, this is already being developed by Bosch's IoT lab, and they are currently testing it on a fleet of 100 cars in Germany and Switzerland. So blockchains are great at keeping track of things over time. So besides odometers, you can also keep track of things like intellectual property or patents, or it can even function as a notary. See, a notary is someone who can confirm and verify signatures on a legal document, but we can just as well use a blockchain for that. The online website stamp.io allows you to add documents to the Bitcoin or Ethereum blockchain. Once added, you can always prove that you created a document at a certain point in time, much like a notary, although right now blockchains aren't on the same level as notaries in a legal perspective. Another interesting application is digital voting. Right now, voting happens either on paper or on special computers that are running proprietary software. Voting on paper costs a lot of money, and electronic voting has security issues. In recent years, we've even seen countries move away from digital voting and adopting paper again because they fear that electronic voting can be tampered with and influenced by hackers. But instead of paper, we could use blockchains to cast and store votes. Such a system would be very transparent, as everyone could verify the voting count for themselves, and it would make tampering with it very difficult. The Swiss company Agora is already working on such a system, and it's going to be completely open source. But there are many challenges. First, you have to be able to identify voters without compromising their privacy. Secondly, if you allow people to vote with their own computers or phones, you have to take into account that those might be infected with malware designed to tamper with the voting process. And a final example, a system like this also has to be able to withstand denial of service attacks, because that could render the whole thing unusable. Definitely a tough nut to crack, but if it becomes reality, it could make for a more transparent and practical voting system. Let's move to yet another example, the food industry. They could use blockchain technologies to track their food products from the moment they are harvested or made to when they end up in the hands of customers. See, every year, almost 500,000 people die because of foodborne diseases. And that's partly because it takes too long to isolate the food that is causing harm. Blockchains could help us to create a digital certificate for each piece of food, proving where it came from and where it has been. So if a contamination is detected, we can trace it back to its roots and instantly notify other people who bought the same batch of the bad food. Walmart and IBM are currently working on such a system. It allowed them to trace the origin of a box of mangoes in just 2 seconds compared to days or even weeks with a traditional system. A system like this could be applied to other industries as well. We could use it to track regular products and battle counterfeit goods by allowing anyone to verify whether or not the product comes from the manufacturer you think it does. Another idea would be to track packages and shipments by using blockchain. That is something that IBM and container shipping giant Maersk are working on, a decentralized ledger to help with making global trade of goods a lot more efficient. All right, so far we've looked at ways blockchain can be used to keep track of information and verify its integrity. But blockchains can be even more powerful when we add smart contracts to them. These contracts are tiny computer programs that live on the blockchain and can perform actions when certain conditions are met. Insurance companies could use smart contracts to validate claims and calculate a payout. Or they could allow us to only pay for car insurance when we're driving, for instance. But it goes even further. With smart contracts, we can secure our own data on a blockchain. They could, for instance, allow us to store our medical records on a blockchain and only allow doctors to access them when we approve it with a digital signature. In the same fashion, you could store your personal identity on there and choose what data you want to reveal. Ordering alcohol in a bar, for instance, only requires you to prove that you're over the legal drinking age. And with smart contracts, you can deliver that proof without revealing anything else. Or think about collecting royalties for artists. A future streaming service could set up 2 smart contracts, one where users send a monthly subscription to, and one that keeps track of what the user has listened to. At the end of each month, the smart contract then automatically distributes this money to artists based on how many times their songs have been listened to. So as you can see, blockchain technology can be used in so many different ways.
Now, I'll just quickly wrap up some things for you guys now, because I think the most interesting part of the jobs now, and let's see what the job parts coming up. And before that, before I even go for I'm going to wrap it up in a few minutes now. But before that, do you see how blockchain is coming? And this video was about a year and a half back. Since then, a lot of cars now are on blockchain. In the entire speedometer, what you call the mileometer, which we measure the miles, is on the blockchain. Secondly, the voting systems have been perfected and are now being implemented, including in the United States elections. So there's a lot of progress since that time. A lot of things have happened, and these are just few of them. You just saw 9 of them. I have hundreds of examples, but we don't have the time. Let's have a look what Gartner says, and then let's have a look at the jobs before you wrap it up. So Gartner says we're going to have a $3 trillion blockchain economy by 2030. $3 trillion, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And what is 3 trillion? It's more than the GDP of India and hundreds of other countries, developing and otherwise. That's big. That's blockchain, one technology. Now here we're talking about the GDP. So you can see what is the size. Growth, 400% over the last year. That's the number of jobs grown over the last year. NASSCOM says 45 to 60,000 skilled resources are industry ready globally. That's all. Blockchain professionals, just 60,000 across the globe. I'm sitting in a colony where there are more than 60,000 people living in my colony around here. So that's the size, the scale. What's important is look at the opportunity. Don't look at only the numbers, look at the opportunity. LinkedIn has already called it the #1 job skill. India, NASSCOM says, just got 5,000 professionals. For all of you looking at careers and jobs, especially post-pandemic when there is chaos, jobs are being cut, salary cuts are there. A lot of placements have been put on hold.
question मैं आपको कैसे भेजूं sir?
Right? Right, I'll continue. I think somebody's speaking, but anyway, I'll continue. And we have Tupwa saying salaries for blockchain techies are going to be double or twice that of a techie without blockchain expertise. Excellent statement there. Other people are saying in 5 years, you'll get what your parents earned in 25 to 30 years. That's this value of blockchain, right? That's how rapidly it's moving, and the salaries are matching. I'll share with you, last week or about 10 or 12 days back, I'm consulting for a bank, and the bank hired a chief blockchain officer, first of its kind. Do you know what was the salary of the chief blockchain officer? Of course, the blockchain officer had 25, 30 years experience, out of which 6 or 8 years was in blockchain. His salary was 2.1 crores. That's the salary what a CBO offers. It's the first chief blockchain officer hired. That's big. So what are the jobs? And why is the demand? The demand is very high. So these are the jobs. Now, blockchain gives an opportunity for both techies and non-techies. That's the beauty of blockchain. You don't have to be a technical expert. You don't have to know coding all the time or programming. You're good. If you know, fantastic. There are great jobs for you. If you don't, if you're an MBA, BBA student, perfectly okay. No problem. There are plenty of great jobs for you. And look at the salaries. These are starting salaries for freshers. These are pandemic salaries. During the last, we've taken collation this from the last 12 months. you can say, which includes almost 8-9 months of the pandemic. So blockchain developers, great careers for technology people, engineers, quality engineers, risk analysts. Then they have data scientists. So you can merge data analysis with this and become data scientists, research analysts, tech architects. You can become entrepreneurs. You have, for non-techies, there are fantastic blockchain project managers, very highly paid jobs, exceptionally good jobs. Blockchain attorneys. Blockchain attorneys are just like the chartered accountants of blockchain. They know the rules and regulations of the currencies and everything else that goes around that. So for your blockchain tech recruiters, what's a tech recruiter? A tech recruiter is nothing else but somebody who understands blockchain. Why? Because when you're going to recruit people as an MBA in HR, for example, you're going to recruit people as an HR manager, you should know blockchain. Otherwise, the person in front of you will keep telling you all sorts of nonsense and you'll never know whether he's talking blockchain or some other language. Then you have blockchain product managers, very highly paid blockchain product managers. You don't get into it immediately, but after a few years, you can get into it. An average salary of 16 lakhs is a lot of money. Now, in the last 6 months, we've seen new jobs emerge. There have been blockchain risk analysts, there have been crypto community managers, analysts, relationship managers, and blockchain business development marketing. Here you can see a wheel here. Look at the demand. Blockchain engineers here, 9 on 10. You have market demand for developers, 9 on 10. And you have another great demands here, like designers, 9 on 10. Market demand for data scientists, 7. Marketing specialists, blockchain marketing. These are for non-techies. All of you who are doing MBA in, say, marketing or HR, these are great jobs. Marketing specialist, 9 on 10 demand. This wheel shows you a lot. We can go through the wheel in detail later on, but bottom line, that's your opportunity, guys. These are the jobs. That's the scope. Quickly, I'll show you. In the Naukri.com, they did a survey and they said, what is required? Who's hiring? IT companies, startups, non-IT companies now. The non-IT companies are growing, and next year this chart will become bigger. Which is the platforms for those who are in technology? Go for Hyperledger, Ethereum, go for Solidity. They're great. What do they look for in you guys? They look for good blockchain concepts and then the technical skills like blockchain, crypto, etc. Here's the demand growth for engineering roles in the last year. The blockchain engineer has skyrocketed by 517%. I'm not saying the other jobs are not important. They're also growing, but the growth is much slower than blockchain. These are some of the skills which you require. If you're a techie, Python, server, all these things are great if you're going to become a developer. These are great. If you're a non-techie, don't worry about this page at all. For techie guys, Ethereum, Hyperledger, Solidity, Ripple, Corda, that's where your focus should be, especially the first 3, Ethereum, Hyperledger, Solidity, because that's where the maximum number of jobs are coming up. Companies that hire, these are just a few. I've just shared a few for which we are training right now. We train these guys because they don't get freshers from colleges. So they tell us, get our existing developers and engineers trained in blockchain. And blockchain can be done because you need to have a basic knowledge anyways of technology. These are for techies especially, but they come and they hire big time. So they're telling us if we get guys freshers, we'll be happy to come and do our placement sessions with them. So I recommend the colleges and universities which do blockchain programs so that these guys can come and pick up good talent from there. So we have this, these are a couple of things which the world is having a look. What's important is this last one I say, these numbers are big, 20 billion, 360 billion. They just show you the size of the market and the opportunity for you. The largest banks have invested $50 billion to build a digital cash system. They've done that because they cannot fight blockchain, so they might as well join blockchain. And as a result, in India, 7 Indian banks led by ICICI and Axis Bank have also now onboarded the JP Morgan's on blockchain platform. That's a great move. So a lot of health applications will be on blockchain. Our Prime Minister talked about the National Health Card in which all our health data will be there. No problem. Getting data on a card is not a big deal. Everybody can do that. But securing the data, putting in a layer of security like blockchain, that's what the card is going to be on. It's going to be on the blockchain. So your health data, your health records, your prescriptions will not be with all marketing people in the whole world. Investments have gone up 280% in the last year. And very important, companies are saving $12 billion a year from using blockchain. That's massive saving, especially in time of COVID. Your sales may not grow as fast, but you can have saving. Bottom line always is better. Some of the headlines: Supreme Court has said yes, you can trade in currencies in India, although it's not yet cleared. There are no standards and compliance and frameworks as yet. But the bottom line, it is cleared. Still under debate, but it's cleared. And even if it does not get cleared, blockchain is there anyways. Cryptocurrencies may not be traded for the time being, but blockchain is going to be there. Binance, companies like Binance and Blockser, we are working very closely. Blockser is a company I work with. I represent Blockser in India, and we help fund and incubate and mentor startups at the university level, at your accelerator levels in universities, or your incubator levels, incubators and tech, inside universities. And Binance is doing it for startups outside universities. Kerala is doing a great job. Kerala is moving everything onto the blockchain. We are also part of a team which is training 20,000 professionals in Kerala. Imagine that, 20,000. We have 5,000 in India right now. That's it. Kerala says we'll train 20,000. I hope other states follow. And again, as I said, LinkedIn, that was LinkedIn Global, LinkedIn India. It's got 15 million Indian guys, including you and me, friends. Most sort of the job is this. And my last couple of slides is telling you, I told you about India. Let's see how the world says. The Prime Minister of Australia, they've started a program in which they're creating 25,000 jobs for Australians or immigrants from India, China, Vietnam, Philippines, and the Middle East who can come in there. And if they are learning blockchain, their permanent residency is fast-tracked because they believe that blockchain is the future. And that's why his job maker agenda is talking about that. That's Karen Andrews. She's also she's the Minister of Science and Technology in Australia. And clearly they have made a national roadmap for Australia for training these blockchain professionals. So if you are looking at careers, not only in India, but even overseas, here is your opportunity. But even Canada is doing exactly that. That's Honorable Navdeep Bains, Minister of Innovation. Canada is big. They are fast tracking your PR, that is your permanent residency applications, if you are doing blockchain. Not anything else right now, but blockchain, yes. And that news has come even 3 days back in the newspaper, reiterated. We've also partnered with the government of Australia, one of the governments, that's Queensland government, setting up centers of excellence for them. In India also, we are partnering with universities and colleges, set up the same at the campuses. We'll be having education, we'll be having internships for them. We'll be having business networking events, government partnership projects, a lot of industry events, most important, employment and placements, domestic and internationally both. And of course, we'll bring in a lot of consulting programs to these centers of excellence. Now, we've just been granted by the Queensland government, we will bring in live government projects to these centers of excellences where children not only talk and learn blockchain, but they actually get right into the blockchain world and manage those projects. That's going to be there. We are partners for that. Very happy to partner with them. These are some of the brands we bring to the table. The government, the HALTS, United Nations offers the partnerships, Blockchain Collective, which is a consortium of more than 180 different blockchain companies, where we do a lot of blockchain internships and projects from there. Recently, and I think TPCRA will share this with you, there's a major league hacking tournament. We've actually just been part of it. It's I think in December, there's a very big hackathon coming in India, international hackathon. And those of you, I encourage you to take part in those. That's real fun. It's a 2-day event. I think Ritesh and Rajiv can send you those details. That's fantastic. So these are the guys we work with. These are the guys we will be doing a lot of exchanges, a lot of projects, a lot of internships. So if you're going to take a blockchain, why do you do it? Let's just wrap it up with 7 reasons. It's cutting edge. Yes, now we know. We've seen the sites, we've seen headlines, we've seen everything. Very high demand, absolutely 517% high demand. Wow. Vast infrastructure, it's all over. In fact, so much so that the Silicon Valley is offloading a lot of blockchain projects in India. Even if you don't want to go abroad, corporates are taking on those projects and you could be part of it. Even as a freelancer, you can do that. They pay anything between $80 to $100 an hour sometimes. So that's good money to start off with. multiple industries on blockchain. Absolutely. We've seen how many of them there are. There are many more joining every day. It's integrated with new age technology. Now that's interesting because even if you're working on cloud computing, you're working on AI, ML, anything, robotics, cybersecurity, blockchain works with each one of them because each of these creates data and generate data, and blockchain secures data. It talks to in IoT, it talks to instruments. It also creates smart contracts, which makes this data be of use. Finally, you have it's at the inflection point of today. It's at the point, it's just at the growth stage now. We are at the beginning. We are at the ground floor right now. The lift can only go up. And finally, a good day, good pay, great career prospects is going to be there for the next 20 years for you guys. So enjoy. Thank you guys. I think I've spoken quite a bit. I showed you videos. I gave you a quick peek into the blockchain world. I know the blockchain is a large subject. I could have covered so much more, but I don't want to cover so much more right now. I want you to be interested, and then we'll cover more. Idea is to introduce you to blockchain, the various industries and sectors where it's going to be. And friends, from morning to evening, there will be a blockchain impacting your life. Thank you, guys. Right. Thank you. I'm done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Raj.
Yeah.
Mayank sir, you are taking questions.
Yes, sir. So thank you, Mr. Raj. There is a very pretty session. So many of the questions are there. Students are asking, and staff is also asking.
Sure. I'm happy to answer what I can.
So yeah. So one by one, I will take one.
Whatever I can answer, I'll answer right away. And what becomes too long, you can send me a mail and I'll answer all of them. I'm happy to answer. No problem.
So the first is asking, does the decentralized nature of the blockchain make it more secure, or there is any other way?
Well, it's as I told you, if you have a lot of, you have 1 dozen eggs with you. You put it in one basket.
Yeah.
Correct? I can take the basket and throw away. I can stand on the basket and all the eggs will break. The eggs are the data. It's a centralized data right now. Now, if I put all the eggs in different baskets, in 12 different baskets, and spread it across my house, it's very difficult for me to break all together or to get hold of them all together. Same way, data, when it's protected, when it's centralized, I'm not saying it's unsafe, but it is safer if it is decentralized and spread out. It's like you're spreading your risk. When you buy stocks, you don't buy all stocks of one company, you buy of different companies. That's decentralization. So that way, the data also is more secure when it's decentralized.
Okay, Raj. So next question is, but there have been many reports of Bitcoins being stolen. So it is possible to hack the blockchain, right?
It is not the Bitcoins. Bitcoins are like anybody else. Nobody can steal them from your account. Nobody can steal it from your account unless you've given the key to somebody and says, here, you can trade for me or do something. There are many people who try and fool you because you don't know the technology well. When you don't know the technology well, people will tell you, okay, give me this token and I'll do this trading for you and you'll make money out of it. That's where you lose money. You're giving like your username and password to somebody, that you'll lose. But otherwise, they will not be stolen. If it's in a secured wallet, it will be absolutely secure. Facebook has got its own currency called Libra, and they're coming up with their own wallet. It's going to be secure. So if you're going to put it in secure platforms, there are enough people who are going to make a fool of you in any business. Hey, this is also one. Somebody can tell you, hey, I'm giving you a wallet. It's absolutely secure. It's on blockchain. You don't know that. So therefore, understand.
So it is a matter of knowledge.
It's a matter of knowledge. Yeah, absolutely. Cryptocurrency knowledge is very important.
Yeah. So our next question is, can blockchain be used outside the cryptocurrency field, and how?
I think I answered this question multiple times. Yes, it can be used more than the cryptocurrency field. As I told you, a cryptocurrency is a car. The blockchain is the road. So when you have a highway, you'll have a car, you'll have a truck, you have a cycle, you have a bike. Those are the different applications of the different sectors. I showed you a video in which how cars it is using in cars, logistics, supply chain, retail. It's being used in airports. We are creating digital identities. You will very soon never have to create or carry your passport. Everything will be with you. and you do not have to do anything. So yes, it is being used in at least 30 to 40 different sectors beyond the financial sectors.
So is there any limitations or disadvantages for that?
Well, every technology comes with its set of advantages and disadvantages. Right now, the biggest disadvantage of Bitcoin and blockchain is less number of people. The lesser the number of people, the longer it takes to create the data. Therefore, it takes a little longer. However, now we have created new chips and new servers which replicate work at a faster pace. That's called the third revolution. We are in the third revolution. So in another 2 years, that will be taken care of completely. So that one of the biggest challenges is speed. Speed is being taken care of. The second challenge is basically usage of electricity, because when you mine data, you're creating data, you use electricity. And this is multiple blocks, not just one block. So electricity, that has been taken care of also by multiple servers replicating at a faster pace than individuals. So yes, that is also going to be taken care of in the next couple of months, not years.
So next question is by the student that what do you mean by blocks in the blockchain technology? I think you've given the answer in the session.
I've given the answer. Let's put it this way. When you open a bank account, you give your data. Your data is a block.
Okay. So our next question is it possible to modify the data once it is written in the block, in a block?
No, it is not at all possible. If you have to change the data, suppose now I've given my date of birth as say 1st August 1970, for example. Okay, but actually it was 2nd August 1970. Yeah. Now I have to destroy the block which is created. When I destroy, there's a timestamp. Oh, okay, on so and so date, 1st August was written, on so and so date, 2nd was mentioned. Okay, and therefore I have to destroy the first. But if I don't destroy it, it won't link to the previous one. So I destroy it and create a new one with fresh data and link it to the previous and the next block. So you cannot change. You can destroy and create again.
And one of the students is asking that what is the role of encryption in the blockchain? So I think it is for security purposes.
It's all about encryption. It's about data securities. Cybersecurity companies use blockchain as an added layer of encryption. Now, cybersecurity already is very secure, but there have been a lot of hacking. You know something, Twitter has been hacked so many times, and they are now using blockchain for the encryption and security. You know that even WhatsApp is a completely secured encrypted software. Even there are gaps. They are also going to be moving onto the blockchain, and your entire internet will be moving onto the blockchain, because internet drops every now and then, and it takes all your data. Every time you type something, every key, everything, they know where you are. Where Mayank is sitting, where Raj is sitting, where Bharat is sitting, it knows everything. If somebody wants to misuse it, it's dangerous. It's going to be on the blockchain soon. So hopefully people will, if you're telling your girlfriend, hey, I'm studying in my hostel, and you're actually watching a movie with another girl, they'll come to know. That'll stop. So it'll be a good thing and a bad thing also. But yeah, it's encrypted. The encryption is good.
So one of the question, what is the principle on which blockchain technology is based on?
There is a centralized ledgers and decentralized ledgers. Now, decentralized ledger is not entirely blockchain. Blockchain is a part of the decentralized ledger technology, DLT. It's one part of it. So it relies a lot on database security. So the entire base of it is all about security. So it is in the DLT. That's the platform it belongs to, the DLT family.
There are many more questions, Raj. So I think
now you can.
We are running out of time.
I am happy to mentor anybody. I can keep. They can ask me, no problem.
One question is there that blockchain is why blockchain is a trusted approach.
Yeah,
so I think
I just explained in the beginning why it's trusted.
Yes.
Also because you cannot make changes to it. I cannot sit down here and hack into the bank and keep making changes. I'll tell you one thing even today as we sit, a good hacker can actually get into most of our databases. We just had a few days back, Mr. Narendra Modi's personal website was hacked. Come on, that's supposed to be secure. It's not. But you put it on the blockchain, the chances are very, 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 very rare or minimal or actually nothing. Or we can, since there is no perfection in life, we say there is a 0.001%, yeah, somewhere. So yes, it's totally secure.
One question I'm taking, Mayank sir.
Yes.
Is for the potential candidates who want to go into blockchain, what's the minimum qualification or skills they should have
Let,
so
let,
that
me,
they can
let me
enter
answer
this
that.
field?
And let me answer the very two simple parts. There are two types of people who are going to take, either they're going to be technology, they're going to be in engineering, or they're going to be in computer science. For those, it's good to have knowledge of Python, programming, SQL, etc. Because they want to become developers. They will require, because blockchain sits on top of all these. That's one. For those who are non-techies, an MBA, a BBA, somebody else doing law, somebody is doing something else, anything. For them, they need to have sound conceptual knowledge, not technical knowledge. Because they're not going to be doing programming, they're going to be doing project management, they're going to be doing product management, they're going to be doing marketing, they're going to be doing HR, they're going to be doing a lot of analysis. So there are lots of jobs. So basically, in the US, for example, if you finish your high school and you know blockchain, you don't need to go to college. Okay, they pay you $130,000 and say, yeah, listen, don't go to college, come to us. But that's not what I advise. In India, you still need to have a basic sound knowledge, which can happen only from institutes. Colleges give you that knowledge, that sound based. But you need to add that layer, just like you need a blockchain layer. You need to add that layer of blockchain or a specific skill. So for techies, go in for Python, go in for Agile, go in for SQL, go in for C++. Yes, go for those. For non-techies, don't go for any programming languages, but understand the concepts, understand cryptocurrencies very well, understand the legal aspects of blockchain very well. And that is more towards the management side.
Okay.
So what is the duration of this courses to learn?
Yeah. The best part of blockchain is they're not very lengthy and boring. Okay. Now you can learn. I think TPCRA is got all the details of the program, the different modules for different sectors. So they can share that with you, and you will be able to know. So right from 20 hours. So we have, for example, for Australia, we've created a program which is a completely 178 program. For one of the universities in South India, we're creating a fintech program specializing in financial technology and blockchain. That is a 90-hour program. For basic understanding, foundation program can be 80, 60 hours, 90 hours. Even just the very, very core basic can be just 25, 30 hours also. In schools, we are doing blockchain now. Even in schools, people are asking us. In schools, it's a 12 or 20, 15 to 20 hour program. So different programs, depending on how much. For colleges, it is more intense because you got to get a job after that, and these get you jobs. That's the most important thing. So I think TPCRA will share with you all the details and the durations.
Okay. So means it is nothing like that, that specific persons are eligible for this blockchain technology.
You can do it. I can do it. Let me give you an example. I'm a non-techie, okay, but I can program all the 4 languages in blockchain. Although you don't have to know that, but it's my passion, so I've done it. I've got people who are in technology. I've got people who have gone from here to Australia with basic graduation and then taken out the development, earning $150,000 salary. So it's your wish what you want to do. You do not have to be only an engineer or only a computer specialist. You can be an MBA, BBA. You can be a BSc, BCom, BA, anybody. You need to have that passion. Anything has to have a passion, but blockchain needs a little extra passion because it's a new technology. You learn that, you got it made. It's a good career.
Okay.
So any more questions? And if they're not, feel free to mail TPCRA, Mayank, or anybody. Happy to answer all of them for you anytime.
So
much, sir. I think Mayank, sir, we can conclude.
Yes, we can conclude.
I request Professor Mayank, sir, to give vote of thanks.
Yes. So first of all, thank you, Raj, sir. Actually, I was not aware like that, but today I learned very much in the simple way.
That means I am happy that I have transferred my one bit of knowledge to you. You transfer it further. That is what knowledge is for.
Yes.
That is
so
blockchain.
I think, it is a very, very, very good technology. I think we should try at least.
You should not try. You should do it. Trying is not the success. Doing is
actually, whenever I will try, then I will completely implement.
That's the spirit. Very good, man. Good going. Yep.
So I think I will convey to all my students, followers, and colleagues. Okay, and many of the students are watching now in the YouTube, and many of the faculty members are also watching live on the YouTube. So definitely in the 1 or 2 weeks, we will spread it out in our area.
What in the meantime TPCRA is also going to give you, I think we've shared here, is a career path and a career for, it's like you asked me who can do whatever the careers are, what they need to do. There's a document we've made. That can be shared with you. That'll be great for your students to understand. All right, okay, if I do this, this is my path. If I do this, I can become a developer. If I do this, I can become a blockchain specialist, a project manager, or whatever. So all these, it's there. He'll share.
Yes, definitely we require this, because if we want to go ahead, then we require these things.
Yeah.
So we will take it from Om sir. So thank you, Om sir. First of all, I would like to thank my management, Sri A.B. Gupta sir and Dr. Lavendra Bothra sir. So they have given opportunity to organize this webinar with Mr. Raj and Mr. Rajiv and one of my friend like Mr. Om. So Om sir has done the great job. They have introduced Raj sir to us. So thank you, Raj sir. And next, I would like to thank all the digital team members, all the members, those who have supported to organize this webinar. Mr. Ritesh and Mr. Rajiv, and all of them, those who are here. And next, I would like to thank all the faculty members, those who have joined this, has watched it, and I also think that they will definitely try to implement it in their lives. So, and last but not least, I would like to thank all the students, those who have watched or those who are going to watch this session. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Ram sir. Thank you, Sapna ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, friends. With this, we come towards the end of the session. Please subscribe to our channel so that you get notification of the new webinars that happens, and keep following our Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube page. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.